Hey guys, just a quick little video here talking about my everyday carry lock picking equipment, both for my interest in lock sport in general, but also what I carry on the job as a firefighter for respectful entry and gaining access to most of the common locks that you're going to run into. So these are my two everyday carry kits. On the left here, this is my walking around, lives in my briefcase. We'll go through this in a minute here, talking more about lock sport and lock picking type equipment. This one here is my kit that lives in my bunker gear all the time. Start with the case. I love these Sparrows Ranger cases. They come with a neat little pouch that holds them. A little Velcro flap on it here. I should probably cut these off. As soon as I got them, I chucked the actual cases that hold these cases. They're designed to ride on your belt, so you can hold them on your belt, take them off. I never have used them. They're somewhere around here. Don't even bother with them. I just like it. It's a good form factor. It's a nice size case, waterproof zipper, holds a good selection of picks and some tools. Really durable, and they're like $18 Canadian to buy one of those. I've got them in a couple of different colors. I've actually got a third one kicking around here somewhere. The black one is what lives in my bunker gear. The camouflage one, I forget what they call this particular pattern. That's my everyday walking around, lives in my briefcase, take it with me when I travel, have my fun with that kit. So start with what's in my firefighting kit. Mostly a focus on bypassing and raking. I do have one hook in here and a couple of tension wrenches. In the fire service, lock picking is not really a skill. It's not something that we do. We usually don't have the time. It's not in our mandate. We've got a set of irons. We can force a door. I've got all through the lock tools. I can pull cylinders. But on those low acuity calls, welfare checks, smells and bells, alarm sounding, these give me something that, give me 30 seconds. Let me try something real quick, see if I can get us in. Start on the left-hand side. In the back here, I've got two pieces of shim stock, one in 14 thou, one in 20 thou. These are both cut down from the Sparrows larger shim stock set. Great piece of kit. Comes with a whole bunch of different pieces of film here for loading locks, bypassing locks. They come in different thicknesses, but they're huge. This would fit in a bunker pant pocket. I don't need to carry this around with me. All I did was figure out what size would fit my case, cut them down, work for the old credit card trick. I've got two thicknesses here. One 14 thou works good for tight gap doors. 20 thou is a little easier to use, but it's a little beefier. Doesn't always fit in the door. I also carry in my kit, somewhere in one of my pockets, I've got a in and out firefighter swipe tool from Firefighting Tools of Babylon. It's a larger version of the same thing. Nice piece of Mylar film. Kind of a pain to put back in the tube sometimes, but we can get it. Great piece of kit, about $20 Canadian on Amazon. Well worth having one around. Weighs nothing, takes up no space. Let me turn off this radio because nobody needs to listen to that. So a couple pieces of cut down shim stock for loading attacks. Sparrows Mini Slim Jim, works really good. If you're going to get one of these, keep the paracord on it. I do find if you get them into the latch, you really need that cord to grab on and give it the hook that it needs. They make longer Slim Jims. This one works really, really nice. Great little shove knife. In here, a packet. This is a partial kit from Sparrows. Again, it's their wafer lock jigglers. Really nice for gaining access to cabinets, desks, filing cabinets, things of that nature. What I use these for more often than anything else is accessing alarm panels. I do have a set of common panel keys, the ones that we run into around here all the time, Edwards, Notifier. They hang off a clip on my radio strap. Every once in a while, you run into somebody who's got an old system or a new system. We don't have the key. These things will get you in pretty quick, allow you to silence that alarm. Works really, really good. Also on here, set of warded lock picks. Don't run into a pile of warded locks, at least not on the job in an application where I need to gain access to them. But these things weigh nothing. If you run into inexpensive padlocks, trailers, sheds, things of that nature, a lot of times people will buy the cheapest lock they can find. They see Master, think that's a great name. Anybody who's into locks knows that's not the case. A warded pick actually will gain access to these locks faster than if you actually had the key. The way these locks work, simply stick that in, find the right slot, and you're in. They work on all kinds of warded locks. Don't see warded locks too often, at least in my part of the world, in other applications other than padlocks. But if I do, I know I got a set of keys for them. Again, weigh next to nothing, take up no space in the pocket, away you go. On the other side of my kit here, I've got a few more dedicated picking tools, but also some really handy bypass tools. This is Sparrows traveler hook. They make it in two lengths. There's the short one and a long one. Long one's probably 8 inches long. I've never seen an application for it. These things are the cat's ass. Get into the latch, bypass the latch, depress the, what's the word I'm looking for? But actually get in, twist, bypass the latch. They work on all kinds of different stuff. Sometimes you can use them to walk a deadbolt that's not fully set. Very inexpensive tool, real good thing to have. And you use this thing for other stuff. It's basically just an O-ring pick. I found lots of applications for digging that thing out of my kit on the job. In here, I've got a set of Sparrows comb picks, which double up as top of the keyway tensioners. For those of you who are into lock picking, you'll know what the top of the keyway tensioners are for. Comb picks, these things rely on some characteristics of inexpensive padlocks. One thing that you can do without getting too far into the weeds on talking about how locks work, but in a pin tumbler lock. So this is a Master 150. This is a Master 140. It's a smaller brother to it. These are probably your Goldilocks price padlocks. Guys go into a hardware store. They want to buy a lock. They don't want to buy the really cheap one. So they're going to upgrade to something a little nicer. Brass body, works great outside. In a pin tumbler lock, you've got your key pins and then your driver pins. And the idea is that the key lifts the key pins up to the point when the driver pins are now above the shear line and will allow the tumbler to turn. One of the faults of padlocks, they actually mill these tubes that run the key and driver pins. They dig them too deep. So what you can actually do is using a comb pick, if you get one to the right spacing and the right size, it actually aligns with the key pins and pushes both the key and driver pins up past the shear line. Once you've got those driven all the way up, so I'm going to take a little wiggle. There you go. Open. Almost as quick as using the key. These things, really, really common. See them all over the place. The Master 140 series, Master 150 series, and clones thereof. Anytime I see a brass body padlock, if I can get a comb pin in there, bypass the warding, drive those pins, that's a very, very quick and easy way to gain access. Different sizes, both 4 and 5 pin. I have a set of comb picks around here in one of my kits. So here it is. This is one of my more lock sport related kits. Come on, get out of there. So I've got them in all kinds of different sizes, up to 7 pins, different pin spacings. I find this little Sparrows kit works really good for the locks that I typically encounter. So they live in there. I've got a set of Sparrows long shots in here. We'll talk about those in a second. And other than that, I do have some quote-unquote lock picks. I carry one hook because I'm into lock sport and into picking locks. I know how to use it. I know what it's for. Again, weighs a couple of grams. It's not even something you'd notice having. I would rather have it with me than not. But other than that, I carry my 2 most common rakes. These are my big money rakes. Got a Sparrows L rake or city rake. Really, really nice for rocking type attacks against all kinds of different locks. And then the Sparrows, this one's a Bogota. Sometimes I have a worm in here. Sometimes I have a Bogota. They're variations on a theme. I'll show you how these things work here in a second. And then a couple of bottom of the keyway tensioners. These are the 3 standard sizes from the Sparrows Level 1 set. I can't remember what the thicknesses are. There's a small, medium, and a large anyway. So if I encounter an inexpensive padlock, something like this, off-brand Fortress, I don't even know if this is a 4 or a 5 pin, 40 millimeter padlock, ubiquitous. You see them all over the place. Before I'm going to go and bust this thing off, especially if it's a low acuity call, stick a tension wrench in, grab a Bogota, give it a quick rake. Of course, these things never work when the camera's rolling. wrong size tensioner, that's why. It's a little thin one. Let's try a little thicker tensioner here. Come on, you. Tensioning it the right way. That makes all the difference in the world. There we go. Ignore me forgetting how to tension locks. It's going the wrong way. It takes 2 seconds. Right? Quick and easy access. If that doesn't work, jam your Halligan in it, give it a whack with an axe. These things disappear in a hurry. You can use that on higher quality locks as well if you want to give it a shot. Again, here's your Master 140. Just that easy. Here's your Master 150. There we go. These locks do have some security pins in them. They can be a little more challenging. Apologize, that crappy Fortress lock wasn't tensioning it the right way. I don't know what I'm doing. So those are padlocks, residential door locks, key and knob, mortise locks, or not mortise locks rather, but deadbolts, all gonna operate the same way. Of course, then we've got our Adams Rite locks. Now, having a set of tools on board and a little bit of knowledge on how to use them, can I rake these open? Usually I can. There we go. Oh, knock the camera over while I'm at it. There we go. Just prove it wasn't a fluke. Oh, not. Just fix the camera here. Try that again. There we go. One more time. There we go. Raked it open. Takes 2 seconds. City rake, slightly different version of the same attack, but this is gonna be a lifting attack. So instead of going back and forth, I'm gonna rock up and down, see if I can't get those key pins to set. Nope, doesn't wanna work for me right now. Now, I mentioned in my kit, I also have a selection of the Sparrows long shots. These things, little tiny hooks made out of thin foil. Super, super easy attack. For anybody who understands how an Adams Rite lock works, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna insert it into the gap between the door and the door frame. If I need to, jam a wedge, the adds of my Halligan, just to get enough of a gap that I can slide this hook in and flip it up inside the lock without dropping it. So, in, give it a little twist, slide it up inside. Once it's up inside, you can see where it is. Right here is the locking pawl for the lock. By wiggling this thing around, all I need to do is hook onto it. This little pin right here. There's really nothing else inside here that I could possibly catch. There's no other guts in here. Just gonna feel around until I feel it hook on something and then give it a pull down. If my vise would hold. And there we go. Lock's open. We'll reset the lock. Do that again. Take this long shot, slip it into the gap in the door, wiggle it up inside, grab the pin, holding the vise, release it. Now, sometimes you can pull these down all the way, flip the door. A lot of the times, just because of the stiffness of the latch or the way it's being held in the door, that doesn't work. I'm gonna grab my knife, grab another pick, whatever I got, reach in, manipulate the latch down, doors open. Bingo bango. Just that easy. No damage done. Yes, I do a lot of through the lock teaching. I know a million ways to spin this cylinder out. I've got a half dozen tools that will pop the cylinder out, right? Anything I do to manipulate that cylinder though, I'm gonna be causing damage. Here, I don't even care about the cylinder. I'm attack the lock itself. Reach in, hook it, boom, lock's open. Again, these are tools that weigh nothing. The set of them, if memory serves, from Sparrows is $18 Canadian. You get 3 either left or right hand hooks. I don't find that there's much of a value in going and buying both. I did buy both. I have found that I can successfully access a lock with either handed version. Just screw it in, slide it in, grab the pin, away you go. Put those back in my kit. Come on. My tensioners, and like I said, I do carry a hook if I need to single pin pick something or want to give it a shot while if I've got the time, I'll give it a try. But that's my Fire Service Lock Access kit right there. My personal everyday walking around kit has a few more things in it. I've still got my shims. I've still got my warded and wafer lock jigglers. Sorry, warded lock picks, wafer lock jigglers. I also carry a full set of the Sparrows jiggler picks. These are great for vehicle access. They do work on pin tumbler locks. They work on wafer locks. This kit weighs probably about 1 pound versus half a pound for my other kit. I don't care about the weight. This goes in my briefcase. I've got another set of Sparrows long shots in here, another gym. I've got a Sparrows knife and their ultra decoder for decoding combination padlocks. I carry a Streamlight stylus flashlight, comes in really handy all the time. Over here again, set of rakes, a worm rake, a Bogota, and a city rake, all from Sparrows. The Sparrows level 1 tension set. I have 2 honest to God Bogotas, 1 triple peak and 1 single. They live in there. And then in the front pocket here, some keys. FEOK1. If you know what it does, you know what it does. A C415A does all kinds of things. An A126. What is this one? I believe that's a Siemens electrical panel access key. Maybe CH501, 502. And then your 2 big money keys for controlled access cabinets. Your 16120 linear and your 222343 dorking. I may have those backwards, but you would know if you know. That's what I carry in my everyday walking around kit. That's all I really got to talk about right now. If you guys got any questions, hit me up. Let me know if you want to know anything more about what I carry, why I carry it. Hit me up in the comments. Other than that, thanks for watching. Cheers.